Welcome to this video course on making sense of play. Most of us have intuitions about play, intuitions about its value, its importance. But intuition is not enough in today's world to inform our practice, to inform our decisions, especially in a world that has put a premium on outcomes, a premium on instruction, a premium on lessons, a premium on work. And so play is becoming suffocated. Play is becoming choked. If you think of a garden analogy, it's only filling in the cracks, so to speak. We're putting a premium on getting ahead. School systems throughout the world are beginning their instruction earlier and earlier and earlier. And there are pressures on every parent to be able to see what talents a particular child has and begin with these practices and these lessons earlier and earlier to be able to compete in a very, very competitive world. As a result, play is becoming an endangered activity. We all know that somehow it is important. Every single mammal engages in play. Play is part, we can see, of the developmental design. And yet, as I said, it's becoming an endangered activity. We need more than intuitions. We need knowledge. And play is not the kind of urgent topic that the media presents, that books are written about for consumers. You have to dig to find out about play. You have to take a course in which, play often in a developmental psychology course, play will be a session there, but often it will be just assigned reading or something. Play just simply does not get exposed. It's a huge area of study, a huge area of study. You could get a PhD in play and still not have covered all the literature. So if you ever are interested in actually getting into the literature, it's vast. I'm here to basically create a synthesis of that literature for you, to put the pieces together for you, and to hopefully give you the conceptual underpinnings of your own intuition. You wouldn't even be here if you didn't think that play was important. And so I doubt that anybody's going to view this video course without saying, yes, play, yes. I want to see what the guy has to say about play. But already you have, the idea that it's important, it's there. But what I'd like to do is, like I do in most of my courses, is give the words that go along with our intuition. So if I can give you the scientific underpinnings of this, I will have done well. I don't think that this video course is going to be able to convince those that don't value play, but simply be able to give some words to those and increase the confidence of those that realize that play is an important activity and something that is in danger in our society. Play is, the study of play is very old. The observations of play go back to the ancient Greeks. Plato came up with a metaphor for play that I think is a very good metaphor. It stands today. He made tremendous observations about play. We'll look at some of those observations. Unfortunately, as adults, we often look at play as kind of non-productive, frivolous, a waste of time, filling the cracks, what children do in the free time or until they're ready for work. But work is where they need to learn to work. They need to learn to do their lessons, to do schoolwork. They need to learn about outcomes. They need to, it's work that we're waiting for them and we're biding our time. Unfortunately, play has become also abused. Many adults will say to their children, go play, as a way of emancipating themselves. That is, I've got work to do, so why don't you go play? And so it's a way of being able to say, okay, occupy yourself and it has become our word for simply that to go do something that engages you so that I don't have to be responsible for you right now, which is very much of an abuse of play, and one, again, that serves the adult and not the child. I'll divide this into two parts. Won't be equally divided in terms of the timing, but the parts are simply this. Why children need to play. What does the evidence say? What does the research say? What is the state of the science in terms of the role of play in development? Play is always dear to a developmentalist heart. Play has always been part of the developmental approach. It isn't part of the learning theory approach, and I'll explain why later on. But it's always been part in every developmental course you would take in university. There would be a section on play. And so this is simply bringing together for you a synthesis, a distillation of the literature on play, the state of the science on play, and far more significant and far less understood. And you've really got to understand the developmental approach for this is what children need to be able to play. There are lots of teachers, even, and educators in their teacher training in school that are told about play and that children need to play to be able to learn. But very few are told about the conditions that are required for play to result, and especially the kind of play that is necessary for outcome. And so that will be our part two, which is to anchor this into what they need to be able to play. Now we'll start off with the definition. What is play? This word is bandied about. Play piano, play a sport, play cards, play games, play ball. The mechanic will say there's some play in this mechanism. We have playoffs. We can be playful. We can have pretend play. We can have all kinds of the word play has become a commercial word. You put play to anything to be able to sell it because it has good associations for us as humans. We have PlayStations. We have play dates. We have never had more toys, but there is some doubt whether that is increasing play at all. We have never had more games, but that doesn't necessarily translate into play. So what is play? What exactly is the kind of play that we need to encourage in our children's lives? What is the kind of play that they need for healthy development? So we have to start with defining play. And actually that's a good way to begin because it illuminates what the essence of play is. What is the essence of play? What is it that we are wanting to preserve in our children's life and why? So there is some challenge to distilling anything to the essence, especially something that is this large a construct. It isn't easy by any means. There's whole books written on this particular subject, on what is the essence of play. So we'll walk around the construct to get to the essence. It turns out that there are three sides to play, three basic attributes of play, three characteristics that are essential to making something play or differentiating between something that is play and not play. And so we'll represent the phenomena of play as simply this and look at the three sides of play that define it. And the first one is probably the simplest and the easiest. Play is simply not work. Play is the opposite of work. And this is very important to understand. But what is work? What is play? What differentiates work from play? And we'll follow this theme throughout. This is very important. In play, the focus is on the activity itself. In work, the focus is always on the outcome. Where is this activity leading to? And so in work, you have your eyes ahead. It is you're working towards something. It is goal-oriented. There is an objective in it. And so there is an agenda in it. Play is without that. You're not working towards something. It is the activity itself. The activity itself that is the focus. What engages is the activity, and where the fun is the activity. So the activity is all that it is there. Play needs no reinforcement. And if you reinforce play, it turns it into work. Because as soon as you reinforce, this is hard for a lot of people to get. So when I see my children playing, the way I think they should play, what should I do? Should I clap? No, that will ruin it. Should I say, oh, that's wonderful, I see you playing? No, that will ruin it. There isn't anything, you have to leave it alone. It is spontaneous, it happens, but as soon as you do anything, it will take the focus off the activity and onto the outcome. And so play by nature is that if you are playing, that is, as adults, if you are truly playing, if you find yourself playing with ideas,